Okay, good morning, everybody. Like I said, my name is Josie Walker, and like I said, my name is Josie Walker, and we're going to be recycling bottles. So we got water bottles, soda bottles, milk jugs, anything that you would normally throw away. You can use it to grow food, start seeds, and feed yourself. So one of the things that we're going to do is make a trowel out of a milk jug. And trowel, the little shovel type thing that you dig up soil with. Especially now, you don't need to go to the store just to get a trowel. So you can use a milk jug. I have a half-gallon milk jug, but a gallon milk jug is fine. Any jug that has a handle and is square is what you need. So you're going to take your jug and a pen or marker, and you're going to draw around where the top of the handle meets the neck of the jug, because you're going to cut that off. And this marker doesn't mark as dark as I'd like it, but it's okay. And on your jug, if you have a milk jug, it has ridges right by the handle, and you're going to go from each corner down to the bottom of the jug, and there's a ridge at the bottom as well. You're going to go down to that, draw a line from here to there. Like I said, I need a different pen. This one doesn't work. Is anybody following along, or are y'all just watching?
I'm with you. We following.
Okay. So, and yeah, I'm going to take this off so you can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, well, doesn't matter. So, you got ridges on both sides of the milk jug. You're going to go from here down to the ridge at the bottom of the jug. And I'm not very good at drawing straight lines, but it's okay. You can fix it later. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And it's roughly about a 45-degree angle if you really want to measure it out. And then you're going to connect the two top pieces through here. And can you see the trowel? Well, no, you can't, but when I cut it out, you'll see. And sorry about the lighting, y'all. You work with what you got. So the push pin, so this little push pin, it makes it easier to start cutting, so you have somewhere to stick your scissors. And I am prone to cutting myself, so I'd rather make it easier than harder. So you just dig your scissors in and start cutting. So you're going to cut through the handle, so up under the handle, straight across. And then you're going to cut down to the bottom and back up the other side. And cutting out so you can kind of see the triangle-ish shape. Right? Can y'all see that? There we go. And now we're going to cut off the top. And this part, be careful, because it's a little bit thicker. But get in there and cut it off. And once you've made a hole, you can cut around it. Okay. So this is a very rough cut. So now, you're not going to be digging up acres and acres of land, but for a pot, it's good enough. And you can go and, round off the edges, clean it up some, and make it look nice. So here we have it.
Wow.
And yeah, and I mean, it works. So. And the good part is that if you use this when you start your seeds and you put the seeds in the, I don't know what you would call this part, but in the shovel part of the trowel, the handle is hollow. So when you're done, you can pour them out back into your seed pack through the handle so they come out, one at a time. Or you can just put this whole thing within the seed pack and just dump them back in there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So here is your trowel. It's easy, no problem. And until you can get back to the store and get a real one, this will do just fine. So now you have this, right? What can you do with this? Well, you can use your old toilet paper rolls, which, we still have, thankfully. You can cut these in half and use each half for a seed starter. Fill them up with soil, plant your seeds in it, and you can water them. So you fill this up with, so now you can make, 2 from, and you use this to catch the excess water and keep from, using a plate that you would otherwise eat off of or taking up space with things that you actually need. So you can use that. And then once you've got your seeds started in these, you just plant the whole thing. You don't have to remove the paper. And when you plant it, the core will decompose and it'll add back organic matter to the soil. And you can fit about 4 in here. So, you can start peas, you can start anything in these really. Peas, tomatoes, everything. And wait, okay. And so now you've still got this. What can you do with this? Well, the flat sides, you can cut them into strips and use those strips as plant markers. So you would cut out the strips about the width of your finger, about the length and width of your finger, and you would use that to mark. You put the date and whatever your seeds are. So, and this is one from an old jug that I had. You would use this, and I've made it with a point just to make sure it'd be easier to go in the soil. But I've dated it for today and wrote tomatoes on it. And you put that so you'd know, what your seeds are. And, eventually these wash off, but you can reuse them over and over again. Here's a bottom of another milk jug that I had. Right now it's just a bunch of plant markers. So, yeah, and I mean the sides, there's tons of extra space, so you could probably use most of your plant markers from just one jug. You could have a trowel, a tray, and plant markers from one jug. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Another thing you can do in a milk jug. So I don't have any more milk jugs that aren't cut up, but this is an ammonia bottle. The round ones aren't very good for making trowels because they don't have the edges, but you can use it to make a scoop. And laundry, like wash powder bottles, and oh, what's the word is escaping? Fabric softener. Yes, those are good for making scoops. So anything that has a handle. And so you would find the edge of wherever the handle is, where it bends, and you would go from there down. You would just draw a line straight down on both sides. And my pin point is too thin so you can see it, but you'd make a line. So where this makes a corner, go straight down both sides, and you can make it a 45 down from here to here. So you would go on both sides. You would basically cut it like that. Like this. Wakanda forever. And this one has a ridge on the bottom. You would cut that bottom off. You would use it the same way you would use the bottom of the milk jug for this one. But the scoop, when you draw the line to cut it out, make sure the handle is on the top. So wherever you grab it, the lines would go like this. You would cut it from the edges of the handle, cut the bottom off, boom. You could scoop up bigger stuff, and like to fill up a large pot, you would want to use something like this. Use a scoop instead of a trowel, because it would go a whole lot faster. Anyhow, so and the scoop you can use for other stuff, moving rocks, picking up stuff, who knows. Anyhow, so everything's usable. And another thing for starting seeds, winter sowing, which is mentioned in the blog article, which I think everybody who registered got a link to. Same milk jug. You put your soil in here, you put holes in the bottom, plant your seeds, pop the top, put it back down, tape it up. And I'm not going to go into any details. If you need any, I'll send them to you after I'm done. You tape this and you put it outside in the cold, in the rain, in the snow, and whatever. The seeds will come up when they come up. You don't have to harden them off. And then when they're ready, you just pop them out and transplant them into your garden. And that's especially if you don't have grow lights and you don't want to fiddle with your seeds, which I'm more of the mind of not wanting to fiddle with my seeds. Okay. Oh, Michael says he might start drinking milk again. So next we're going to talk about the self-watering planter. And I have one that has a snake plant in it. I hope you can see this. It's not too bright. And this is in an old, I think, Mountain Dew soda bottle. So it's 2 pieces. Can you see both of them? Can y'all see them? Or is it too bright?
Okay, we
so
see
here's
it.
the bottom, here's the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we're going to do right now. And you can, that's an ornamental house plant, but you can start seeds in it. You can grow herbs in it. You can what Sasha talked about last week about buying herbs from the grocery store and starting your own plants. You can put them in one of those, put them in your window, and have them right there when you get ready to eat. So you can do it in a 2-liter bottle. You can do it in a regular, 20-ounce water bottle, or a little teeny soda bottle. Oh, Dallas says she hates hardening off. I do too. That's why I love winter sowing, because it's just, no.
Josie, I just learned about hardening
say,
off this week. Can you just break that down for those of us who are less familiar?
Okay, so hardening off, if you start your seeds inside, you need to acclimate your plant to the outdoors, to the elements, to the sun, to the wind, to everything. So you take them out. Basically, it's like introducing a baby to the outside world. Like you take them out for a little bit, then you bring them back. You take them out for a little bit longer and bring them back, and keep doing that until you can leave them outside all night. And you do it when you're sure that the nighttime temperatures won't kill your plant. Like it's not too cold and it's not, because you know, even if they're cold hardy, they're not fully grown, so they still need, you know, a little bit of protection. And hardening off takes probably about a week at the quickest. And you know, that's not bad, but just babying plants is not something that I enjoy. So, and actually the milk jug, you can do the self-watering planter with that one too. And if you use a gallon jug, you can actually invert the whole top into the bottom, and it's not two separate pieces. It's all one piece. Anyhow, but these type of bottles with the long skinny neck, you don't really want those. Like any other kind of bottle is fine, but these you don't want because this neck is too skinny. Because when you turn it upside down, there's not enough space at the bottom for the water. And if you cut the top short enough so that there is enough space at the bottom, there's not enough soil for the plant. So stay away from the skinny neck bottle. But anything else, you can make it work. And you need the lid. That's the other thing too. So we're going to use this regular water bottle, but the method's the same no matter what you use. So I'm going to take the label off, and that's personal preference. You don't have to do that. And the color of the plastic doesn't really matter either. What types of plastic should you stay away from? Anything that's not meant for food. So anything that's not meant for food or drink, don't use those. So like the ammonia bottle for a scoop, you would wash it out, and that doesn't matter because you're not going to be eating out of it. But to have something you're going to grow in, make sure that it's food grade. So we got our bottle, took the label off. So we're going to start with our push pin, which I misplaced, but I'll just use a screw. So usually on these bottles there's a ridge. I make use of the ridges that are on the bottles just to make it easier. Did I cut a hole in the top? Yes, I did. That's one of the last steps. Okay, so there's a ridge, and I'm just going to cut there. If there is no ridge, you want to cut it about halfway, but you want the bottom to be, if you're not exactly sure, you always want the bottom to be slightly taller than the top. Oh, here's. All right, so I punched my hole, and I'm going to cut it. And if you don't like how it looks, like if your cutting is not up to your satisfaction, you can fix it. You can cover it up with some electrical tape or duct tape, you know, to make it pretty. But I don't really care all that much, so it doesn't actually matter. Not to me, yeah. So now we've got the top with the lid on it. So with the top, we're going to poke a hole in the lid. I'm using a screw. You can use a hammer and a nail. You can use a drill, whatever you want. And you're going to screw it all the way through. And they're not very deep, so just make sure you can. And I don't think you can see it, but there's a hole right in the top. And you've got, so you're told to have a string. So you want the string to be of some natural fiber because it's going to be wicking up the water. It doesn't have to be cotton, but it needs to be some kind of natural fiber. And so this is 24 inches, roughly 24 inches long. And you're going to put it in half. So there's a loop. So it's about, I mean, it's a little bit longer, but you want it to be roughly the length of 2 rulers. So this loop here is important because that's going to go inside it's going to be in the soil. So you're going to take this here and put a knot right in the middle. So if you're just going to tie a knot right in the middle. And it doesn't have to, you're going to try to get it in as close to the middle as possible. So here's the knot right here. And it's more important to have string, a little bit longer string at the bottom. So if your hole is bigger than your knot, just make your knot big, tie another knot to make your knot bigger. Yeah, because you don't want this to fall out. So now you've got your the hole that you just punched. You're going to take the end with the two legs, and you're going to put them through. You're going to go through here and out through the bottom of your lid. The easiest way to do that is to remove the lid. So you want it up. So, like this. And you want the two legs to go down. You can use a pin, you can use a push pin, you can use a screw, whatever, but you want to get both of those pieces of string through the hole, because you want the knot to be sitting on the inside of the cap. And if you just have two short pieces of string, pick which side you want to be the top, and have, and the method is still the same. Anyhow, this is probably the hardest part, is getting the string through the hole. Anyhow, and once you get started, yeah, there it goes. It's pretty easy. So you just keep pushing it until you can pull it through. And okay, so now we got both of those through here. So we got the two legs hanging out. Here's the loop, and here's the cap that's turned upside down. So you want it like this. So the knot is going to be inside the cup. So we're going to put it back through here and screw it back on. When you pull on this, it should not come out. So you're gonna take the two legs, and you're gonna put this into the bottom. So like that. And this here, you're just gonna let it lay. Now we're going to fill up our, I'm not going to fill it up completely, but you'll get the idea. You're going to fill that up, and then you're going to water it. You're going to let it, drip all the way down, make sure all the soil is wet, is moist. Plant your seed, do your transplant, whatever you're going to do. And then from after that, you're only going to fill up from the bottom. So once your plant is once your plant or seed is in place, and you're going to moisten your soil the first time, water it very well, and then after that, you're only going to fill up this bottom piece, and it's going to wick it up. You're not going to have to worry about it too much. When you see that there's nothing in the bottom or it's starting to get low, then you can fill it back up. You don't have to fill it up to the cap. You just need to make sure that the string is still touching the water in some way. If the string is not touching water, you need more. It's really, and once it's dry, you're gonna have to water it from the top again, and then you can start just so that it'll start the capillary action again. And the capillary action is when the air spaces in the soil start drawing the water, and once it gets dried out, it won't do that anymore. So to start it up again, you'd have to moisten the soil like you did the very first time, and then only water it from the bottom. So I don't know if I went too fast or if that made any sense. Anybody have any questions?
That was great, Josie. Someone had a question about not using water bottles with BPA.
Yes, if you want to be extra cautious, yeah, try to make sure the bottles do not have BPA.
That's great.
And they usually say they're BPA free. Anybody else? And and after a while, your plant's going to be looking, like this.